the leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it. There to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
All right, folks, this is Rick Robinson with you. I want to tell you about some friends of mine from a company called Security Enforcement Specialists. When I ran my security agency for 12 years, I worked with one of these partners on a daily basis. He's been involved in this agency now, and with his other partner, they do have over 30 years of experience in the private security industry. If you own a business and you need someone to keep you or your customers or residents safe, then I highly recommend contacting Security Enforcement Specialists today. Give them a call at 405-703-1796. Again, that's 405-703-1796. Again, tell them Rick from K98 Talk sent you. Like I said, if you need the help, they are here for you. So make sure that you go look them up, check them out, and see what they can do.
Wrong way. Welcome to the place. Welcome.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
To get up to like $68,000, my heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
The Internet will never be the same. You're listening to K98Talk.com.
Whoa! Good God, y'all. What is it good for? Absolutely. Now get set again. We don't want to cause no fun. Yeah, we just want a little revolution. We don't want to spill no blood. Yeah, we just need a little revolution.
Two hosts that are different from those that aren't so different. It's Angie. It's Paul. It's real, serious nonsense.
And it's Monday night at 9 p.m. and you're listening to Real Serious Nonsense and not watching football. We thank you for being here. Hey, it's Angie and Clay. Did you miss that?
Yes, I did. I actually had that on. That's my new ringtone. So.
Hey, what did you say I was being a smart tail about? I saw something in the chat.
In an unrelated story, my phone's actually been on silent for the last week and a half. So
I know that's the truth because, like, honestly, we usually, like, back and forth talk at least once a day or something like that. And we haven't talked for, like, a week and a half.
We've talked.
We have not really talked. I saw some pictures, and I said, oh, yay, and that's about it.
Well, that was your fault because I was trying to start conversation. You're like, "Oh, yay!" and that was it.
So that is so untrue.
You were being a smartass because I told you to mute and I hit start and you said no, and that's why they're like, "We can hear you," because I told you because we were like a minute and a half late. So that was what you were being a smartass about.
Well, that was kind of smart alecky. But in my defense, I didn't know that you were actually starting like right at that moment.
Well, you can look at the clock, and usually at 9 o'clock, I'm doing well now, and then it was like 9:02. I was like, oh crap! But that was my fault because I had headache, so I took a nap, and I woke up about 45 minutes before the show started, and I still had to make dinner. So yeah, shows you how much effort I'm putting into this show tonight.
And you haven't read any of the stories, which is cool.
I read them. I read the ones I sent you when I sent them to you, but I don't even know. Other than like Ben Carson and pyramids, I have no idea what's going on in the world today. So
yeah, the whole Ben Carson thing is insane. That's just like nutty. I don't even know what to say about that. It's just stupid. They're trying to say he lied about a West Point scholarship or some kind of junk like that. He says, he was told he could go to West Point for free. Most of the time, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm from a really small town, and I'm, whatever. If somebody told me I could go to college for free, I would assume that was a scholarship. I wouldn't, Everybody is saying, for the love of God, turn up the volume, and I think that's for you and not me. Is that correct? Is he really quiet?
I think they're just wanting to hear us jam out.
They're just saying that they said that the volume is low, but I think
I feel
it's
like we're in like a Toby Keith song or something. That's the best example.
Okay,
I'm sure
the
there's a better
whole
example.
show, they said the whole show is low.
Well, turn their volume up. Why do I got to turn the volume up?
Oh, I don't know why. I don't know. Anyway.
Did this help at all? I cranked up the volume knob. Is that helping?
They said their volume is at the max. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. That sounds like a good rap song.
I think
Turn it up.
It's like little. It's like they're all just mocking me in the chat here. Fantastic.
My powered speakers hamsters are dying. I don't even know what that means.
Me either. All right, let me tweak, not twerk. Let me tweak. They didn't even hear that because I had you off there. So,
microphone.
All
This
right.
is the best show we've done since like our first show.
This is the best show we've done like since 2 weeks ago. What are you talking? I think we're good now. I think the volume is good. I think we're way up.
This
right?
might even be as good as like Doritos and wheat. Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I think our volume. Okay, Ron says much better. So.
Okay, great.
Okay, Doritos and
All
wheat.
right.
Got it. Okay. So I want to vent about this, and it's kind of more of a boring, the media's evil topic, I guess. But like before I became enlightened, and before I learned of the evil liberal media, I used to go to Yahoo News like daily, and like during the Romney election, I kind of realized how slanted it was. And like yesterday, and I still go there. It's like torturing myself. I don't know why I do it. It's just because it's been ingrained in me now for like 10 years. Yahoo News has just been like the thing. So I go on there, and like the top 5 stories are like the top 3 stories are about Carson, and there's one negative story about Trump's Saturday Night Live thing, and then there's something else. But like the top story about Ben Carson actually said, Ben Carson. It says. Addiction is caused by emptiness, or something like that. So that's not the actual quote, but that's the gist. Did you see that story?
That it's caused by emptiness? No, I didn't see that. I just saw them like making a big deal out about saying that if he had a conversation about going to college for free or whatever, that it wasn't like an official scholarship. Because I don't know. I guess he didn't even apply for it because he said that he turned it down. So like none of that makes any sense to me.
We're just talking about 2 completely different topics. That's fine. That's good for a show. So anyway, he said apparently in a statement on something over some show over the weekend that addiction is caused by an emptiness in somebody's life is what the quote was. Like, oh man, everybody like berated him for it, saying how horrible he was because he's a doctor and what does he know about addiction? The quote actually said usually, when you take the word usually out of there, it makes a huge difference. Addiction is usually caused by somebody having emptiness in their life, like no one loves them or they're missing something or whatever. So yeah, the fact that they completely took him out of context and make him look like an idiot. But even so, I don't know. I don't understand, because I would say that usually addiction is that too, because normal people don't try heroin, for instance, because heroin seems to be the epidemic everybody's talking about these days. Normal people don't. I've never done heroin. I know, Angie, you've done it at least twice, but since your life is so fulfilled, you didn't stick to it, right?
I've never done heroin. Now, due to Lyme disease, I have had some Vicodin on occasion, which I would say is whatever. I've never tried heroin, so I don't know. But if you take some Vicodin and you also take any other kind of anything with it, cough syrup, I don't care, a Tylenol, then that is messed up, and it's not smart to tweet while on Vicodin. That's the only experience with any kind of drugs that I have.
You sound like an Eminem song now.
Why?
He's always rapping about Vicodin, or at least he used to before.
Really?
Yeah, because he was because he was kind of like the rapper that wanted to rap about different things. So like normal rappers are talking about cocaine and marijuana. He's rapping about Vicodin just because he thought it was different.
I never heard that. Like,
really?
Ever.
Yeah.
I haven't. But I mean, that doesn't mean anything. I know of Eminem and he's okay, but I can't say that like I'm his biggest fan or anything. I don't think that anybody. I don't think that anybody's going to be upset about my not, knowing he tweets or sings about Vicodin. tweets.
If I could remember what song it was, I would use it for a break, but I don't remember. So there's multiple songs, but my luck, I would grab the wrong one, and we'd be talking about doing inappropriate things with his mother. So I'm just going to avoid that altogether and not bring it up.
I think we just pass on that. Like, let's just not talk about that. But we can talk about Ben Carson for just like one more second.
Okay, so we can talk about the same story this time, since you completely blew off my story, which I thought was interesting, but you apparently didn't. So
I'm trying to fix my volume, by the way, to see if there's anything else I can do about it.
I think that you're just trying to avoid talking about your heroin problem.
I don't have a heroin. Is that? I hope that is.
Of course, it's not a problem because you think you enjoy it, but you're going down a slippery slope, Ange, and we are here to help.
I don't.
This is your intervention, right? Right, guys in the chat. We're all here to intervene.
I don't have a heroin problem.
I think they're still going on about the volume in the chat. They don't give a crap about your heroin addiction.
Nobody cares about if I have a heroin problem or not. I'm kind of upset about that. They should at least care. I mean, even though it's not true, they should care, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. I have this thing cranked up as loud as it'll go on my end, so I don't know what else to do.
Okay, I think that I might have fixed it. Hopefully. I don't know. I think that us not being very good at radio is really helpful to our show.
This is the one thing they act like they have a problem with it, but this is the one thing that they tune in for. They may not want to admit
That's
it.
That's true. Anybody who's actually in here listening to us, they already know that we're like really bad at this, like just radio in general. But much less trying to. I do not have the ability. I do not hold the ability to do more than one thing at a time. Like if I am talking on the radio, I have to like be focused on that subject, and if I like drift away and try to fix volume, then we're all in trouble. Like I can't do all of them at one time. I just can't. Like I can't read tweets. I can't like keep up with the chat and think about what I'm going to say. It's really bad.
Yeah, we're pretty bad, but that's not breaking news.
But okay, let's talk about this Ben Carson thing for just 2 seconds, though. All right, for real. Hillary Clinton actually did lie about her dad having a football scholarship, and like nobody talks about that. She actually has lied about that. She's been out like saying stuff like that. They don't have any proof that the man ever had a football scholarship or anything like that. But they all just like Didn't
she also lie about being a second-generation American or something? Isn't that also her?
Yeah, I think that's... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her, but I'm not positive. I'm not going to go all in on that. I'll go about 85% on that because I don't recall for sure. But I know that she's lied about tons of stuff. I mean, she lied about her name. She said that she was named after Sir Edmund Hillary, who didn't even climb Mount Everest until like after she was born. So she wasn't named for him. I mean...
there's another good example.
Bosnian sniper fire that didn't really happen. I mean, she lies about all kinds of stuff. And the media is just like, whatever. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't, like, have questions about vet Ben Carson. I don't care. Like, he's not even my choice, so I don't even care. Like, if he does badly, it ends up helping my guy. So...
They're trying to prove he didn't stab. They're trying to prove he didn't stab somebody, like, or he didn't attempt to stab somebody, or whatever. Like, they're trying like hell to make him into a nicer person. What sense does that make? Right?
Exactly. They're just. It's really stupid. The way that they're going about all of it is really stupid. But I just think that the double standard is insane. I don't see. Like how that's okay in any way, how they can even get away with it, I don't know. It's nutty.
In clarification, he's not my guy either. I really do like the guy. I think he's a great guy. Obviously, he says some strange things, but more power to him. He's a nice guy, and if he did or didn't stab somebody, I'll still like him.
Exactly. And if he gets the nomination, fine. Let him have it. You know, that's not a problem to me. If he gets the nomination, I'll vote for him. I'm going to vote for anybody over Hillary or the socialists. I mean, that's going to happen. So, you know, I don't care.
I won't go that far, but not anybody. But Carson is one of the people that I would.
Just in case you guys are new to the show, Clay, does not like. What are the states of people that you don't like? I forget. But there's like entire states of people that he is biased towards and think that, you know, they shouldn't even listen to the show. And if you like Donald Trump, you're not supposed to listen to the show. I don't personally feel that way, but he feels that way. So, just so that you guys know.
Okay. New Hampshire is number one on the list, I believe.
New Hampshire?
Followed closely by Rhode Island.
I knew there were entire like states of people that you that weren't supposed to listen to the show. And honestly, I don't like cats. So, I mean, that's known. That's a known fact. But I don't care if cat owners listen to the show. Like, I'm okay with it. I just don't like them. But speaking of cats, I did find a story this week. Well, actually, it was last week. But we weren't on last week, so I couldn't talk about it. But there is a study and it proves it says cats are neurotic and they're probably trying to work out how to kill you. This is I
sent you that story, right?
Yes. Yes, it's great. Well, actually, I don't know. Did you send it to me or did I send it to you? I can't even remember.
I'm pretty sure I sent you that one, but that was like right after the last show.
It was a study carried out between University of Edinburgh and Bronx Zoo, and they compared like regular domestic cats with wilder cats, lions and such. And they said that they pretty much, even though they're smaller, they believe that they're predators, and they act like that. And their most common trait with the bigger cats was dominance, impulsive, and neurotic behavior. And basically, it came down to them saying cats are, you know, the only reason they haven't killed you is because they're too small to do it. That's what they're saying, basically, in my opinion. That might not be the complete study, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure it did say some cats wanted to kill you. It didn't say all cats, if I remember correctly.
But yes, they want to kill you. That's how it is. So,
okay.
Cat owners, please still listen to the show, but just know that they are trying to kill you. And, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. They just are. That's how it happened. And I don't really have anything else to say about that.
Well, I know that there's some cat lovers in the chat room, so this is our public service announcement segment of the show. Don't say we didn't warn you.
All right. What you have? Did you get an Amazon product, or were you too busy and just didn't worry?
I was too busy. I was rushing around getting tweets because we actually have a hodgepodge today. So anyway, if you don't know, we're an Amazon partner. Go to the polititainment.net site, click on Amazon, and buy the stuff you're going to buy already. If this were a place where I actually had picked an Amazon item, I would present to you somebody that supported us. But I had so many requests, and the fact that I was off all last week in more ways than one, I didn't really find anything. But as I'm trying to browse one while you were reading the story, I found 32 ounces of wolf urine for what that's worth. So go online, buy the 32 ounces of wolf urine. I don't think it comes with a supersize option, but and remember, this size of wolf urine would be illegal in New York. So do this to piss off Bloomberg.
That's disgusting. Okay, I want to know how they got it. Don't you? Like, aren't you curious as to how did they get that?
Yeah, I'm very curious.
And can they even prove that it really is that? I would think not. They probably can't even prove that it is that.
And this, I didn't...
Any kind of urine.
Yeah, so this is the most hilarious review it says on this list I'm looking at. It says, this is so much easier than trying to get the wolf urine directly from the wolf. Wolves are, from my experience, very possessive of their urine.
How do they know that? How do they know that they're possessive of it?
I'm pretty sure it's a joke, but what do I know?
You think it's a joke, really? Are you pretty sure it's a joke?
I would maybe not.
You're pretty sure it's a joke?
I'm pretty sure. I'm about 85. I'm about 85% sure. To quote
85%.
To quote somebody earlier that didn't want to go along with something that I know to be a fact. So.
Hey, if you know it to be a fact, then okay, she lied about whatever it was she lied about. She lied about so much. I don't even remember what we said that she lied about. But I'm okay with that. I just said I didn't know for sure. And you know, the last time that I didn't know something for sure, like I mispronounced some country and said that, like,
You pulled a John Kerry. We all know. We remember.
I said Ebola was in some other country that it wasn't even in. So I try to kind of watch out about, you know, what I say at this point. Not on purpose. It's just, you know, I just kind of worry about it. So.
Yeah. So. Go to Amazon, buy wolf urine. I think that was the gist of this part, right?
I think so. I think it was.
According to this, it keeps deer out of your yard by tricking them to keep predator around, but it also can be used as a clone to drive the ladies wild. Sprinkle a dash on your scalp to grow a thick, sprawling mane in seconds. Seriously, what can't you use wolf urine for?
That sounds horrible.
Yeah.
That sounds really horrible. I don't know. I didn't know there were that many uses for wolf pee. And I don't know how they explain or show that it is actually wolf pee and just not some random guy peeing in a cup or whatever.
There's tests for that.
I know, but once you purchase the wolf urine, are you really going to pay and go and try to like test it too?
Well, you know, I don't know how they would still collect it, but maybe they could put like a drain on the floor because a lot of people do have wolves as pets.
I don't know. It just sounds like trolling to me. I think somebody's just trolling Amazon. That's what I think.
I don't know.
It could just be anybody's pee.
You won't ever find out until you see if that delivery of that 55 gallons of lube comes in or not that you ordered.
I forgot about that. You know what's the strangest things? I don't even know how you find them. So
I found wolf urine in like 30 seconds. However long it took you to talk about the cats trying to kill people, that's how long it took me to find wolf urine. So
that's crazy.
That's because I'm a natural hunter. What can I say?
Let's talk about some trolling for a second because I found this hilarious. Apparently, for the GOP debate, for media to log in and have access to the debate, they have a place they have to go and the password, and the GOP has made the password Stop Hillary. So any media who want to get Wi-Fi access to the debate tomorrow night have to type in Stop Hillary.
I like it.
Why can't GOP be like that on a regular basis? Why they just like pull this stuff just once in a while they do something you're like, that's brilliant. But like in general, they're just always horrible about that kind of thing.
Didn't we just have a debate? Like, wasn't the last debate like right after our last show? Do they really need another debate? What, tomorrow?
Well, I think that they are doing a lot of debates. I wish the Democrats would have more debates, but I think Hillary's afraid of it, so they're not going to do it. But I don't know. I don't mind them having a lot of debates. So it just gives the people that I don't like more chance to mess up, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but some of the, like, until they can put Lindsey Graham on the main stage for us to laugh at. I mean, he's not even going to be in the debate now. How are we going to laugh at Lindsey Graham?
Lindsey Graham needs to just stop. He needs to get off, like, the stage altogether, out of the whole thing. To me, if you're below, like, 6% at this point, just go ahead and pull out. They just need to, like, go ahead and narrow it down to what? The top 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, I'm okay with top 5. But whoever, after this debate, if they're polling, top 5, the rest of them just need to go ahead and get out. Because it's just ridiculous. It's too many people, and they just need to stop. That's what I think.
So, did I just hear this right? And I apologize in advance. Lindsey Graham needs to get off and pull out. I think you have the order wrong there.
That's horrible.
You said it.
I know that is. I said it. I'm so ashamed. That's horrible, and I'm ashamed. And that right there, that is the reason that we are the worst podcast.
I just want to point out, I don't know if you've listened to Soup's podcast for this last week or not, but Soup said that they're still the worst podcast, and they won that poll because he's trying to play the fuzzy memory thing now. But we all know better.
I haven't listened to it yet. I'm a week behind. I'm going to listen to it, and then I'm going to tweet at him and send him screenshots. He tried to cheat. He even put himself in there twice, and we're still winning. I couldn't know.
You should cut out this portion of the podcast and just send it to him.
Oh, no, I'm kidding, though. He's awesome. I love him. If you guys don't listen to him, you should. He's very funny. Great podcast. Enjoy it greatly.
Something else would ignore football because it's on Thursday. So.
Oh, yeah. Football's on Thursdays, and he's great. So you guys should listen to him. We like him. But we should take a break, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
All right.
Whether you're an employee or business owner, when it comes to the correct course of legal action, it's the first step that is important. And make that first step with attorney Ted Hong. You need someone you can trust and has the experience you need when it comes to workplace and employment law. If you've lost your employment due to discrimination, false accusations, or being denied benefits, you need Ted Hong. Or if you're an employer who wants to ensure compliance with workplace regulations and labor contracts, you need Ted Hong. Ted and his team also cover family and property law and estate litigation as well. Ted has over 30 years of experience, and him and his amazing legal team will provide you cost-effective legal consultation and make the experience all about you and your needs. For more information or to set up a consultation, contact the law office of Ted Hong at 808-933-1919 or visit tedhonglaw.com. Ted Hong, an experienced and principled attorney you can trust. 808-933-1919 or tedhonglaw.com.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Their show is just like Red Eye. If Red Eye made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Serious, none.
It's hit the B square. It's hit the B square. It's hit the B square.
I'm glad that it's hip to be square because we may be the most dorky people on the internet. I'm pretty sure that we are.
I don't even think you could call us a square. I think you'd have to call us a parallelogram. Right?
Does that make it better?
I don't think so.
Parallelogram versus a...
I don't think so.
Huh.
Or maybe a rhombus.
A dodecahedron.
Well, that makes a lot of sense because that sounds like something poop related. So
that is a fun word to say. It's like one of those like marshmallow. It's just fun to say. I can't say that word without laughing. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's talk about this for a second because I found it amusing. There is a painting. It has been in the Smithsonian, and it was part of Queen Elizabeth's collection. It's all 17th century art. And I don't really know this artist very well, but it's a 17th century painting, and it's supposed to be of like a landscape, okay? It's been displayed for years in the Buckingham Palace Art Gallery. It's been in their collection since 1810, and they found out when cleaning it, if you while they're cleaning it, if you like zoom in, there's a dog and a man, and the man is squatting. The man is squatting and pooping. He's just like sitting there pooping in the bushes. This has been hanging in Buckingham Palace. This guy, it's a Van Ostade, I guess, is his name. I don't really know him. He's a Dutch painter, but it's very, very funny. And apparently this was a thing that sometimes people did. They said that Dutch artists often included people or animals answering the call of nature, partly as a joke and partly to remind viewers of the crucial word nature. That was the inspiration for their art.
So is the Dutch people? I mean, considering the term Dutch oven, this seems to be their MO. This is all related. It all makes so much more sense now.
But can you believe that they're doing an art restoration?
Make sure you send that clip to Soup too. So
it was like a little thing. It looked like they thought it was obscured by dirt or whatever, and they were cleaning it. And then can you imagine you're being the one who's cleaning this, and you see this little dude like squatting there pooping in the corner? Oh. I just found that hilarious. That entire story. As an artist, and I have to admit, I do know some art history, but I'm not like a big, huge buff. I don't know everything there is about it, and I'm not familiar with this artist, but I did find it quite hilarious.
I know nothing. I know nothing about art. Nothing.
Well,
you think I know nothing about TV and movies? I know nothing about art.
That doesn't surprise me. I'm just not surprised about that.
I'm trying to say I'm not refined.
I'm just saying that you know what you know, and it's just like there's.
So what is it that I know? What? Please tell me.
You don't know much. Oh, like you will keep random numbers or stats in your head from something that nobody's ever going to care about or know about, but you don't really know anything like as far as pop culture or if I would not come to you
or news or math. Sarah says I know Candy Crush. There you go. I know Candy Crush.
Candy Crush. But I mean, you're not going to be my first pick if I want to have a big discussion about, art. It's just not going to. I'm not going to choose you. I'm sorry. I don't mean that bad.
When I was on vacation, I ate pizza at a place called Vinnie Van Gogo's. I mean, that's close, right? Is that like the same thing?
It's definitely the same thing. Almost exactly the same thing.
Speaking of pizza, that's a great tie-in, by the way. We were doing a study on foods that are addictive, and that was actually completely unintentional. I just had to throw that in there, and I really did eat at that place because I couldn't make up something so clever off the cuff like that. But pizza, unsurprisingly, came out on top of the most addictive food list. And the reason that they believe this happens is during digestion, cheese releases something called casomorphins, which play with dopamine receptors and trigger an addictive element to it. To fill the void, as Carson would say, some people take on cheese, and the headline here is, cheese really is crack. That's the headline.
I totally buy that. Being a cheese addict myself.
Is cheese gluten-free?
Yes. There's not gluten in cheese. It's cheese.
I don't know that.
It's not dairy-free. I think you're confusing dairy and gluten. But just cheese in general. If you put cheese on anything, it is better. I don't care what it is. Other than maybe cake. But even then, I might be willing to accept it. Like, if there was, like, a cheese, like, middle and some kind of cake, I might be willing to at least try that out.
Oh, and to tie this into other things in my life, I, bought all this food for the wedding, because we kind of, did it all ourselves. We had all this food there, and I bought, 8 blocks of cheese. They were small blocks of cheese. I cut them up, and I got a big thing from Sam's Club, this big thing of pimento cheese. At the end of the wedding, that was the only thing. Everything else was still sitting there. All the cheese was gone. I was surprised, how much freaking cheese they ate. I had 50 pieces of chicken left, but damn it, they ate every last piece of cheese that we had. So there you go.
Help add to our worst podcast ever and being the lowest common denominator of any kind of internet radio. I just want to point out that you admitted to cutting the cheese on. I just want that to be out.
Well, I was actually kind of busy. My son cut the cheese.
I think we're 10. Are we 10? We might be 10 years old. I'm not even. Speaking of things that might appeal to 10-year-olds, they found a 3-eyed fish in Brooklyn, and apparently it was caught in some kind of river called the Poop River. I've never heard of this. I don't know how we haven't heard of it, but there is a river, the Gowanus. They sometimes call it the Poop River because it, some kind of YouTube video that went viral that shows all this poop floating in the river. But anyway, they caught a fish in it, and it appears to be a 3-eyed fish. Do you watch The Simpsons? Do you know The Simpsons?
So if I say yes to this, you're going to mock me because you just said things that'll appeal to 10-year-olds. But you should know by now. Yes, I grew up watching The Simpsons, and I still watch it out of habit.
They catch that 3-eyed fish outside the power plant.
Right. So, his name's Blinky.
Yes, Blinky. I'm ashamed that we both know that. But 3-eyed fish caught in the Poop River. I don't know how that couldn't be mainstream media news, headline news all over the country right now. I really don't. I don't get it.
Are we sure it's a valid story?
Yeah, it's a valid story. They didn't just make it up. They have a picture of it. They have a picture of the 3-eyed fish.
That doesn't mean anything. Come on.
Well, they make a point, though. It's out of this apparent Poop River. And, all right, first of all, if there is a famous river for poop floating in it, I'm not going to go fishing there. Would you? I really wouldn't. It's not gonna be a place I choose to fish. But they did have a good point. They're who's actually going fishing there and who's gonna eat it? That's what they said.
In people's defense, maybe they're hungry. Because like I've said before, you think about all the things people eat, and I may have said this exact thing on the show before because this is just thing I never understand. When you think about scallops or oysters, or for that matter even shrimp or escargot or squid, whoever ate those things the first time are really freaking hungry. Who looks at a squid and goes, squid? Nobody.
Well, that's true. I agree. I agree with that. I've eaten just about all of those things just to try it because I'm pretty open to trying things, and especially before that I had like all of the dietary limits. And really, if you think about it and you put cheese on it, it's probably going to taste better no matter what it is. Just, try some squid, put some cheese on it. You'll be okay. That's what I think.
Yeah.
It can't be that bad.
Calamari, or I guess it's octopus. I'm not sure the difference between an octopus and a squid.
Calamari
Either.
is okay. When I waited tables, we used to serve that stuff, and I ate it.
It's very chewy.
When we had to, when I waited tables, we had to eat like all the food. We had to try it so that we would know what it tasted like. And I was so against.
That sounds like gluten discrimination. Did you sue them?
Well, I didn't know I had a gluten allergy at the time. I didn't start getting hives from eating it until I was older. So I didn't. They said that sometimes it's like you kind of either grow into it or out of it. So apparently I didn't have it when I was that age. I didn't get it until I was like 30 something. But anyway, we had to try all the food, and I was scared to death to try that. I was like, I don't want to eat that. It's going to be disgusting. But it actually ended up being pretty good.
I remember, I think I may have been, speaking of 10, I think I was 10 or 11. My dad gave me what he told me were chicken wings, because I did like chicken, and they were frog legs. Frog legs are very greasy, and I cannot eat a frog leg ever again. I was scarred for life when I found out they were frog legs.
I've eaten those too. They're not awful. And calamari, actually, the calamari I had wasn't chewy. I think that you had some not properly cooked one.
I think that's what happens when you get calamari or whatever from a Chinese buffet. Because I'm never going to order calamari. I'm not going to go into... Because I think, what's that thing that's I think, Carrabba's has calamari. I would never go into, Carrabba's and order calamari. That's just something, if it's at a buffet, I'll try it.
We used to sell a lot of it when I waited tables. I waited at tables at, a little Italian restaurant. It's very similar to, an Olive Garden kind of thing, but it was before Olive Garden was what it is. But, anyway, we used to sell a lot of that stuff. I don't know why, but it was pretty good. Didn't mind it.
All right, so this is something that has to be discussed. So, Slate wrote a 600-word article against spooning. So
spooning.
Yes. Yes, spooning is apparently, they go on about how this person had a long distance relationship and they miss cuddling at bedtime, but spooning is just evil because it's uncomfortable. Even though the contours of your body fit well. And I agree, it's hard to find a spot for your arm sometimes, but spooning is very nice, right? So, but at the same time, not only that, they're also saying spooning is evil because apparently gays have adopted the term big spoon, little spoon for who is more dominant and who is not dominant. So they're saying that apparently, that's what this article says. I'm not up with the homo lingo, but
that's not true.
It's not true.
That you're not up with that lingo. You wear purple.
Find a gay man that knows who Blinky is. Point take. I rest my case. So it's become. So the quote is, among gay men, big spoon and little spoon have become softer ways of signaling whether one is on top or bottom. So what it's saying is that it built into spooning is a dominant and a passive position. So, and of course its thing is, we can do better than this. We need conscious cuddling.
Conscious cuddling?
We need conscious cuddling that takes into account the realities of our body and the pressures of a fallen social system that unnecessarily sorts us into limiting categories of big and little.
What does it even say?
Well, conscious cuddling. We because God forbid, it's not like the other partner. You guys couldn't switch positions of the spoon. It's a social construct, and it's wrong. I mean, I think that it's not really because I think people used to do this to keep warm when it was cold. So I don't think that this is a social construct. I'm pretty sure there were cavemen. And I say cavemen as in plural, men spooning in a cave somewhere. I'm almost positive of it.
I like the alliteration of conscious cuddling. I like that, but I just would rather it just still be called spooning.
Courteous cuddling.
I mean,
I like that. Courteous cuddling.
Either way, it's still like good alliteration. I like anything that has alliteration. That's cool. I like that. But spooning, I don't think is offensive. I think that, they should just let that be. I don't know. I feel like they try to make all kinds of things so bad for no reason. Like just any word, they just decide that they're just offended by it or that they're going to adopt it and own it. And that's just the left in general. Like just the left culture. I think that they kind of do that to an extent. So I am protesting and I'm not going to let them have spooning. That's just what I've decided.
Speaking of the patriarchy, we got to talk about this. We actually have a hashtag today, so I have to, I guess, fit this in now.
Okay.
So you know what story this is, right? This is like my favorite story of the week, I think. When it comes to heterosexual sex, the orgasm gap is real, and it is significant. Women are far less likely than men to say they orgasmed in their most recent sexual encounter. And the picture is especially bleak when it comes to casual hookups. The reasons behind the discrepancy are complex and wide-ranging, but there's no denying that living in a culture that has long associated women's sexual pleasures with shame and judgment bears a whole lot of the blame. I don't really know what to say. So according to a poll from 538, which is that Nate Silver's site that he has on ESPN, they did a poll, and I think 64%, so for every 64 orgasms a woman has, there are 100 men orgasms, or something like that. Maybe I said that backwards, but you get the point, right? So it's 64 to 100. Now, if you watch TV, like if you watch comedy shows, like I do, like sitcoms, I would say that's a lot higher number than I would have guessed. It's like the subject of everything, right?
Well, I think it's just a stupid topic because, like, a boy has to, or else, like, there aren't going to be any babies made, and that's the point of it in the first place. That's what that's what it's supposed to do. So if a boy doesn't, then there's not going to be any little babies made, right?
Correct.
If a girl doesn't, I mean, she just doesn't. And sometimes people might just not feel like waiting around for that to happen. I mean, sometimes you just might not feel like waiting around for it to happen. I don't see that as a problem. I think that 64 is actually pretty good. 64 to 100. I'm not upset with that.
I mean, and I don't understand. And I'm not a woman, so I can't say this, but I would think that
you're not a woman.
I'm not identifying as such today. But if it were me, if my odds were every 6 times I did out of 10, I would just do it more often. That's what I would do. And I think that if you're a woman in this situation, and if you're the average of 64 out of 100, you should just do it more often, and you won't really notice the orgasm gap.
Sarah just said, did they account for fakers in that figure? It's chat room. These people are crazy.
Yeah, there is actually, if you go to the article, it's on Huffington Post. You can click the link to the survey. It actually gets into the whole faking thing and all that. So yes, and word of advice, ladies, if there's no need to fake it, so just don't do that.
Yeah, don't fake it. Just say what needs to be done.
Because
say what needs to happen. It's
right, and that's the problem. I think that's a lot of the orgasm gap. I hate to say it. I mean, I hate to be victim blaming here. It's self-inflicted.
Victim blaming.
if you're going to fake it, you're kind of cutting the opportunity off for yourself, right? That's what I would think. And the other interesting thing I see, if you look at the numbers, like it said, casual hookups is like 50-something%. Long-term relationship, if you get in a long-term relationship, which feminists are completely against, your odds are like 80% or greater. Which, once again, TV has lied to me. So.
Well, that's because you get used to the person and you tell them what needs to happen.
Yeah, and that's that. And then the point of the article actually is, here are 11 celebs who remind us that orgasms are awesome, and women should feel way more empowered to get theirs. Look, most guys, and I say most guys because I can't speak for all guys, and some people would probably argue that with the purple, I'm not really a guy. Most guys want this to happen, and they want it to be huge. So it's trying to say that these women are heroic, and of course it's Amy Schumer, Nicki Minaj, Margaret Cho, Amy Poehler. I mean, people that when you're thinking of a hero, I'm not really thinking of these people, and I don't think a normal woman that is empowered to have an orgasm would want to think about either, because I don't know.
I think Amy Schumer is pretty funny most of the time, but I don't need anybody to like. I don't think there's a need for like all girl stuff matters or anything like that. I mean, I don't think there's a need for like a hashtag or like a movement about it. I just don't. I just think the person just needs to be honest and say what needs to be done, and if they don't feel like doing it, then it's not going to happen.
I don't think it takes people standing up for something. If you got a problem, hire a trainer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody has to stand up for it. Well, okay, never mind. I can't say that. I was going to say, okay, never mind. Let's get to the hashtag. Never mind.
Well, let's take a very, very quick break. We got one more quick commercial to play,
okay,
and then we'll shoot the hashtag.
Okay.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
So I just got to say this because Angie censors herself because she doesn't need to. Angie's comment that she censored before the break was she was going to say boys need to stand up. And that's speaking for the big boys and the little boys. They need to stand up and rise to the occasion.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm like ashamed of that. I can't.
You shouldn't be. That's funny. And it's above the belt. It's not like you're even saying.
It's not above the belt.
You're not. Well, it's not really above the belt, but you know what I mean. It's clean. It's clean.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about this hashtag.
Yes, you do it. You picked it. I don't know anything about it.
It started. I really don't know if it started out as making fun of Republicans or if Republicans just hijacked it, but I found it fairly amusing. It's been going most of the day, and it's pickup lines for Republicans. I found it funny, so that's why we're doing it. And I have no idea if it was supposed to be making fun of Republicans or not. Pickup lines for Republicans. Since I'm already paying for your Obama phone, why shouldn't I at least have your number? And that was, government's the problem, Mr. T2.
I would say that this was definitely a hijacked hashtag because Republicans don't just make Republican hashtags. It's usually the other way around. It's like liberals never picked, liberals' favorite songs or whatever. So, artist_Angie. Hey girl, I don't live in my parents' basement. Pick up lines for Republicans.
I like that. That made me giggle. I liked it.
Okay. Did I do enough? Did I give proper effect on hey girl?
Yeah, you did good. I liked
Okay.
it. That's exactly how I had it in my head, like when I said it. Okay. Pick up lines for Republicans. Do you want to hear something personal? Responsibility. That's breaking news, and it's GNUS. Very funny. I like that one.
Okay. Lizzie Lou Who, Winter Girl 93. Just like Bernie, I want to check you for cervical cancer. And then, of course, it's got the link to cervical cancer. Lack of orgasms, which tie into the last thing, is blamed on cervical. Bernie Sanders blamed cervical cancer on lack of orgasms. So, which he actually did.
The thing that makes that funny, though, is the picture. Like, she linked that little picture with it, and it's pretty fun.
It's a funny picture, and it's extremely blurry.
All right, this one is Rotten Scoundrel Bob. He's hilarious on Twitter. If you guys aren't following him, you must. Pickup lines for Republicans. Darling, the difference between me and a Democrat is I won't go through your purse while you're in the restroom.
Nice.
I liked it.
Probably looking for Vicodin. Sideshow John 36. Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo. I don't know. Don't ask me. Want to go to a Tea Party rally? It's like Occupy Wall Street, but without all the rape and public defecation.
Oh. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like it. Good.
This one is Daniel Snyder. That's Dan M. Snyder for the handle. Aren't you tired of going out with no talent? I can't really say this word. You're going to have to say it for me.
I don't say that word. I don't say that word either. So, you're out of luck.
Mr. Tommy Campbell. But apparently Tommy Campbell had something to do with this hashtag, and I found it fairly amusing for Dan just to like call him out and call him no talent and all that. It was pretty funny.
I don't know who Tommy Campbell is.
You guys can go to the site and read the whole thing, but it's amusing. I liked it.
All right, this one here. Yeah, follow Dan. Okay, this one here I picked more for the irony because it doesn't really tie into what we were trying to accomplish with this. But this is from a Bernie Sanders supporter. Her name is Teresa Santi. The only difference between a hooker and a Republican is the hooker will stop screwing you when you run out of money. And that's coming from a Bernie Sanders supporter. Republicans are screwing you out of money from the Bernie Sanders supporter. Saying.
That is just like no self-awareness is what that is called. All right, my last one is as red as my hair. Pickup lines for Republicans. I'm not a liberal. Enough said. I think that would work for me.
Yep. Dan, St. Louis, Missouri. I'm not a Democrat. Pickup lines for Republicans.
Fine. Okay, catch us next week, Mondays, 9 p.m. Follow me on Twitter at artist_Angie. He's that pointless poll, but hardly there.
Yep. And stay tuned for Daniel. Stafford is next.
Just